If you're in the season of letting go of relationships, of old patterns, of limiting beliefs, of things that are draining you, of certain habits that are no longer serving you, this video is for you. My name is Anne. I'm a makeup artist and a wellness coach. I share wellness, beauty, health tips. I help people glow inside out, build confidence, and the life they love. So today's video is a little more casual. It's not as structured as some of the previous videos were. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more of what I've been going through this summer, this year in general. I feel like it's also very relevant for fall. Fall is like the season where the old leaves fall and we get ready for winter and then new bloom, right? So for me, it wasn't just about this fall. It's also been kind of like the theme of this whole year. A lot of letting go. So I started with letting go of my closest friendship that I had, and which was extremely difficult for me because that friendship was in my life for 16 years or so. And honestly, in the last few years, I've grown so much. I've done a lot of reflection and becoming my own woman, like growing in my 30s as well, and just healing my childhood wounds, healing my patterns. And so I got out of a 6-year relationship a few years ago, like 3 years ago, and then that kind of jump started such a huge healing process. And then I've outgrown a lot of relationships and I've changed a lot of friendships since. And this last friendship I had was like the last one from my old self, from my old life, and it was painful. If you have gone through a friendship breakup, you may know, and I've gone through so many friendship breakups as of late and it was so painful for me to face it, and I kept doubting myself. But then I remembered, and then I learned, because I seek support in coaching and therapy and also videos and books. I learned that when you grow and when you change, a lot of things can no longer stay in your life. And yes, you are the common denominator, but not because you are a shitty person. I didn't mean to really just break up with my friends. It's not like, oh, I'm so much better than you now, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Like, that was not the attitude. So I want to get that very clear. I've always still wanted to love and be around my friends. But what happened is that as I got stronger in my inner self, in my inner self-worth and self-respect, I could no longer tolerate the things that I used to tolerate when I didn't have that sense of self-worth, sense of self-respect. I realized that because I came from a dysfunctional, chaotic family, which I'm not blaming, but got me to really normalize certain behaviors, normalize toxic, dysfunctional patterns in my relationships, including my friendships and work relationships. So as I let go of those, like let go of romantic relationships that were toxic, let go of work relationships that were toxic, and the last thing was my friendships as well, because friendships are probably the hardest for me because you don't see your friend as often as a romantic partner, so you feel like it's not as acute. But then it does come to a moment when it is acute and you can no longer tolerate certain dysfunctional relationships and dysfunctional patterns. And so that was one of the things that I had let go, and I'm sharing this journey with you in case if anybody is in the same boat, or maybe in the future you find this video, because when I was going through this, I was watching other people's journeys too, and that ultimately helped me a lot. So if you're also in this phase in your life where you're growing and you feel like you have outgrown your friendships, and doesn't make you better or worse, it's just you're no longer aligned, it's okay. It's okay to go through this. It's okay to let go. Trust your body. If you're feeling like your stomach is tight, you feel like you're stressed around this friend, you feel like you can't talk to this friend, and that's the thing, sometimes you get stressed and that's okay. And if you communicate to this friend, which you should, if something bothered you, conflict can arise in any relationships, and if you communicate to them and that gets resolved beautifully, then great. But if not, and if they're attacking you, if they are like blaming you and they're not providing a safe space, then maybe it's something for you to consider. Although obviously we also need to take accountability for how we communicate things, right? So anyways, I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but I'm just letting you know that that's okay to have relationship breakups. It's okay to move on. It's okay to not hold on to your old friends as you're growing. And in the beginning, it can feel very lonely. It can feel like, oh my gosh, all my friends are gone, or I don't have that many friends anymore. And that's okay. Just stay there. Just stay in your wholeness. Just stay in your sense of self-love and self-respect. And because new friends will come, and I want to share this with you because I did have new friends that arose from that situation. I got closer to other friends because I made space, and I also got on Bumble BFF and then was able to connect with really aligned friends that are so enthusiastic, that are so kind and so incredible, that are actually like so uplifting. And we're no, like, my life is no longer about gossiping about men, about gossiping about other girls, which was the thing that my previous friendships were about, unfortunately. And that's what were one of the things that I no longer wanted to participate in. And so now in the new friendships, we talk about wellness, we talk about spirituality, we talk about growing, we talk about like, and my friends and new friends are like living in integrity the way I also live in integrity, because other friends would be like manipulating men, manipulating other women, manipulating work environments, and I just didn't want to be in that circle anymore. So I'm very happy that I stuck to what I believe to be true and what I wanted in friendships, and I was brave enough to let go and stuck to the vision of how I wanted my relationships and my friendships to be, because now I do have those friends, and I know I'm going to attract even more like-minded and awesome people in my life. And the thing is that this phrase kept me stuck, you know, when they say an old friend is worth two new friends or something like that. I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. Obviously, just because you got arisen to success and fame doesn't mean that you should let go of the old friends who were always there for you. I think that wouldn't be a great thing. But if you, let's say, grew up and you leveled up and the other friends are just still gossiping and eating junk food, then that old friend, I disagree that they are worth two new friends, you know, especially if they also have the toxic traits and they're live out of alignment and integrity. So yeah, anyways, so that is friendship is one thing I let go of. Another thing I let go of, which is a quick easy thing, that was my hair. I had really long hair and it started feeling like dead ends, and that was also connected to me letting go of my old patterns this summer. And I just felt like over summer I became a new person, and then especially in September, like going through the summits, were really anchoring in that new thing. Like this whole summer I felt like I was in a soft girl vibe, and I really learned to be appreciative of life, enjoy life, and just feel whole again, like feel happy and feel gratitude for my life, feel so at peace and feel so blissed out. I just was able to finally step into that, and I was able to let go of like the heaviness, let go of the limited beliefs, let go of my lack of self-belief, because I was really on a mission this year to really crack the code of how to believe in yourself. And I felt like this summer I finally did, and I was able to step into it. And then in September, like after the summits, like coaching summits, I went with Brendon Burchard, and then the Summit of Greatness with Lewis Howes, I really skyrocketed, and I know how to believe in myself now. Right now I'm going through like kind of like an integration process, and sometimes that involves being challenged and the old patterns speaking back and really challenging you. And my health has been kind of challenging me, so I'm kind of like navigating that, which is normal. Sometimes we think like growth is like up, right? But it's not like that at all. Sometimes it's like you can like be like this and then up and then like down and then up, right? So I don't know where I'm at right now. I'm sure I'm integrating right now, and I'm just letting myself come back to peace and come back to feeling gratitude and really implement all the things that I've learned in the past few months and really integrate the new self, right? So I've let go of lack of self-belief. I've let go of like really heaviness and negativity of mentality, like everything needs to be a struggle, business needs to be a struggle, life needs to be a struggle, relationships needs to be a struggle. I really let go of that. I let go of like the toxic traits that I still had. Like, oh, I've let go of old relationship patterns that I had even in the current relationship. So sometimes it's really not about just letting go of the relationship altogether, right? Sometimes as you grow and you have new standards, you set up new standards around you, right? And new boundaries. And then that can be an invitation for the old relationships to really stand up, to really level up, right? And to match your new standards. So I've let go of old patterns with some of the relationships that I still have today, and they were able to level up with me, which has been really remarkable and beautiful. So I've let go of the old patterns that were kind of keeping us down, keeping my vibe down, and keeping the relationship not so healthy. And I was able to communicate my new standards from my new sense of self-worth and my new sense of self-respect and new vision of what I wanted my life to look like. So, and by the way, to get here, it does take a journey. It takes a lot of inner work with therapy, work with coaching. And if you need support with that, because honestly, it does take self-worth and a very solid sense of self and self-respect to get there and to be able to communicate that and to really invite people around you, change your environment, to change, because it's not just about like, hey, I'm a new person now, so you need to also change, because that's not how it works. You change energetically, you change inside out, and then people can sense it. And if they don't, because they're so in their own world, then you communicate. And it's not just communicating like, hey, I've changed. It's, and I won't dive into how to communicate that. If you want, I can for sure share that more in the next video, or if you're interested in coaching with me to really find out how to up level and how to get that sense of self-worth and self-respect to really change the world around you, like not like the world, but like change your reality in your life, your relationships, your like everyday life, please click the link below, the Calendly link, where you can schedule your free first session with me, absolutely free, no strings attached, and you and I can have a little chat, and I will see if I can help you. If not, I will also send you other resources and videos maybe, or therapy, whatever it is that will help you to really break through this sense of lack of self-worth and help you not settle anymore in friendships and relationships. If you're sick and tired of being treated the way that you just don't want to be treated anymore, and if you know you can have so much more and be treated so much better but just don't know how to get there, I'm here for you. So yeah, click the link below and let's chat individually, because these videos are kind of more generic. I'm always so excited to help people one-on-one, because that's where my life purpose and my joy is. Anyways, back to this video. So yeah, changing that, which was a process for me, really helped me change my relationships. And then also what I let go of this summer and this year, which I almost forgot, was all the toxicity, not just like in relationships, but also what I was putting into my body. So I discovered this year that I was struggling with a few things like hormonal imbalance, candida in my gut, and thyroid issues, which are all kind of interconnected, and adrenal dysfunction. So what I had to let go of was caffeine and processed sugar and all the baked stuff and bread and white pasta, white rice, which I realized that I ate a lot of. I always thought that my diet was healthy until I discovered these health things and changed my diet, and I realized, holy cow, I eat a lot of sugar. So for example, like even when you go to get sushi, right, you think, oh, this is a healthy meal, especially if you're getting sashimi, but it all is drenched in sugar. Sashimi is drenched in sugar. Sushi rice, white rice, is just sugar, and all the salads that you order have sugar drenched dressings. And so I just realized just how much sugar I eat. And when I travel, I eat sugar, like desserts, 3 times a day, every single day, and it's, which is crazy. And I'm considered to be healthy because I don't eat a standard American diet. Overall, I still eat a lot of salads, a lot of like whole foods meals. I don't eat a lot of processed sugar. I don't eat cereal in the morning. So I'm still pretty, my diet is still considered pretty healthy. So that's kind of wild that somebody like me has still discovered that they eat a lot of sugar. Anyway, so I had to let go of that. And honestly, caffeine and sugar have been the hardest for me. And I never before, even as when I was in health coaching school, could imagine myself completely letting go of sugar and caffeine, even though I knew that would be a good thing. I just always kind of like found a way to make excuses for coffee, like, oh, it has antioxidants and yada yada yada, which is partially true. There are other foods that are so much richer in antioxidants, but caffeine can really be not great for your gut, for your hormones, and for your adrenals, to be honest. If you're already struggling with those 3 things, then it's really beneficial to let go of caffeine. And I haven't been able to let go of it completely, but I am consuming mostly decaf these days if I do have coffee. There were some days that I didn't have any coffee whatsoever and no sugar as well. I lasted for weeks without sugar until my mom's birthday, which was absolutely unimaginable for me. But I also came to a point like, hey, if I love my body the way I want to love my body and the way I say I love my body, then I need to make choices of foods that actually love me back. And sugar doesn't love me back. And coffee, as much as I love the sensation and the feeling of like the, you know, like the jolt of energy in the morning and like just sipping that latte or as I'm journaling, I also needed to face that it was making me crash. It was giving me like yo-yo, you know, sensation of like energetic and then tired, energetic and then tired. And then I needed more and more and more coffee, and that was also impacting my sleep. So overall, it was just not a good cycle. And not to mention, a lot of coffee out there has mold. So if you're drinking coffee, try to drink organic, but still, there's just almost no way to really know. So I had to let go of that, and I'm working on letting go of it completely, like caffeine overall, like not even decaf anymore, but I'm working on that. But still, like now, like my caffeine level is like 1/100th of what I used to drink, or 1/10. I don't know what's the, maybe 1/50th, because I used to have 1 or 2 cups and then multiple teas, green tea, matcha, so which is more caffeine. But I'm almost with no caffeine these days because decaf still has some caffeine. But anyways, it's still much better than before, and I've let go of bread because gluten and a lot of refined carbs that I used to eat, processed foods. I've let go of all of those things, and I've been feeling much better, and I'm figuring it out. It still kind of like goes through ups and downs, so we'll see. But those are some of the things that I've let go of as well. And I'm also working on, I know we're in October and we have another couple of months until the end of the year. I'm committing to decluttering my home, letting go of the things that I no longer use, and really letting go of coffee, caffeine completely, even decaf. And yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you updated. Some of the other things I've let go of is watching. And don't laugh at me, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I always say be aware of the content you consume, like what you're watching, your shows, what you're consuming on Instagram, what you're listening to. Everything impacts you. And yet I knew better, but I got caught up in all the murder and murder documentaries, murder shows, murder movies, well, you name it. I knew that stuff wasn't great for me, but I got so hooked, and then like one after another, and Jonathan and I both got hooked. So that was also hard because he was also choosing them, and it was hard for me to say no if he put it on. So not to blame Jonathan at all, I was obviously contributing to that and I was saying yes to that, but I kind of like ignored the fact that it is impacting me. But anyway, we found ourselves like knee deep in all the documentaries and shows, and I realized this was really impacting my sleep negatively and impacting my mental health. So I let go of that, and now if we even watch TV, we watch something lighthearted like Bridgerton and something like that, so something pretty. But I've let go of like watching a lot of TV as well, and just binging on shows, or like especially if they're heavy thrillers, murder stuff, because even if you are not afraid, it does impact you subconsciously. So I would really be, again, cautious of and be aware and mindful of what you consume and what you expose yourself to. And even if they're war movies, I love war movies, but I had to face that all of them are pretty violent, you know? I love knowing the stories and seeing different sides of war, especially World War II, seeing different human stories. I love that, but they're also violent and they do impact me and they impact you too. So that's something I also let go of. We're letting go of judgment. Jonathan and I sometimes can get into like a pattern of judgment and like jokingly, but I'm also letting go of judgment. Whenever I want to judge somebody, I just bless them. I try my best to bless them, and I'm not perfect, but because our culture sometimes can be pretty judgmental, but I just know that that's not good for me, not good for anybody. I don't want to judge and be judged, and so yeah, I want to like contribute to love and compassion in this world. So I'm letting go of that as well. It's an ongoing process. I've worked on this for years, and sometimes it's just easy to fall back into it, especially if everybody around you kind of does it, our family and culture. So letting go of that. And social media, I completely forgot. I also got off social media. I let go of scrolling. I got off social media last week because I realized just how much of an impact it had on me, on my well-being and my mental health especially. So I let go of that. I don't know for how forever or not, but for now that's what it is. I'm not sure when I'll come back, if I'll come back, and how I'll proceed from now on. So don't hold me to it that I'm letting go of it forever, because that's not what I'm saying. But so far it feels amazing. I always find that I'm so much more satisfied with my life, and I feel so much happier and more present with my life when I'm off social media. So that is really like that's something that I'm really have been embracing, and I really would love to figure out how to use it for work and only post without consuming. But unfortunately, the reality of it is that no matter how hard I've tried, no matter what I've tried, I always end up consuming other pages too. And sometimes it's kind of like I feel like an ass if I just post and don't engage with people, don't like look at other people's pages and comment on them. Of course I want to be supportive of my friends, supportive of other content creators, but that ultimately does take a toll on me. So I haven't figured out a way to do social media, like Instagram specifically, in a way that is okay with my mental health and my health in general. I know YouTube is a social media, but I can just record this and then Jonathan posts them for me, and I don't really have to go through a lot of people's pages. I do have a couple of accounts and a couple of people that I follow, but they're very contributing positively to my life, and it's not in any way as taxing as Facebook or Instagram. I'm never on Facebook really, but Instagram was my crutch. And yeah, anyways, I let go of that. So yeah, that sums up all the things that I've been letting go. I'm sorry this video has been kind of long, but yeah, anyways, I hope this serves you, and I hope this inspires you or supports you. And if you need personal support one-on-one, I'm here for you. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.